Imagine a young woman dashing into turbulent waves and mighty oceans just to save a drowning man who disregards her help at his realization of her gender. That was Ida Lewis, a teen whose life took a remarkable turn when she took the life-saving baton from her dying father, leading her to beat his achievements and rescue many from drowning. The story of Ida Lewis is more than just a saving spree. It uncovers the staggering potential of a passionate human to comb through the most discouraging roadblocks to achieve a goal. Even in the heart of a raging storm, this woman dedicated her life to doing what few people would consider. No doubt you will love this story. But before we dive right in, if you find stories like this inspiring, kindly consider subscribing to our channel for more such incredible tales. Now to our story for the day. Who is Ida Lewis, and what is her story? Idawella Zorada Lewis was born to Hosea Lewis and Zordia Lewis in Newport, Rhode Island on February 25, 1842. During the earliest years of her life, her father worked with the United States Revenue Cutter Service, and through this time, life for Ida Lewis was the same as every random kid. But this all changed when her father, Hosea, was made the keeper of the Lime Rock Lighthouse in Newport in 1854. Now, 12-year-old Ida could see beyond building sandcastles. As the first of her 3 siblings, she would travel the 200-yard rowing journey with her father and watch him put on the lights in the tower. Daily, she practiced how to handle a boat, turning the arduous task of navigating the sea into a hobby strange to kids her age. Fervently, she did this, not knowing that a day would come for a switch in duties. In 1856, a house was built for her family at Lime Rock, cementing their stay in the middle of the harbor. In no time, Ida became one with her environment as she kept assisting her father. However, things took a downturn a few months later. Hosea Lewis suffered a stroke and could no longer perform his duties as a lighthouse keeper. As was common in those days, the keeper's scepter was immediately transferred to his wife, Zordia Lewis. But Ida's mother could not function because of her ill second daughter. This left the demanding task of running the lighthouse to Ida. At such a young age, Ida tended to the light, cleaned the lamps, trimmed the wicks, and filled the oil reservoirs. Since her mother was responsible for caring for her father and sister, young Ida Lewis was given the chore of rowing her siblings to school every day and buying provisions from town. In no time, Ida became so good at rowing that she was tagged the best in the whole of Newport. No one knew that this tough experience was preparing her for a journey that would demand all her strength and resilience. From the period of her father's illness and death to the busy schedule of her mother, Ida was in charge of running the lighthouse, but not on paper. Ida's only focus as a young teen was to help her family however she could. Her age was no undermining factor, as she could sometimes row against the harsh winter weather to fulfill her duties. Although unpaid, she came alive whenever she sat on that boat. This was until 1879, when she was officially appointed as the keeper of the Lime Rock Lighthouse. To many, it looked like the passing of an unfair responsibility to a young, unmarried 37-year-old lady. What they did not know was that this young woman had been skilled in managing the lighthouse since forever. Before this position was bestowed on young Ida Lewis, she already set out to establish a feat that would be celebrated forever. Ida Lewis broke limits and went on a life-saving spree. From the family house on the small island in Newport Harbor, Ida Lewis did wonders. Whenever she spotted a helpless person in the middle of the sea, Ida was moved with compassion to help. Armed with solid years of experience, she would row out under the sun, under the rain, and even in stormy weather to save a life. However, her rescue operations did not start after she was appointed the lighthouse keeper. Dating far back when she was 12, Ida Lewis saved 4 lives in an unexpected situation. In the autumn of 1854, a savior was needed. 12-year-old Ida was playing at the shores of the harbor when she noticed something amiss in the sea. When she looked closely, she saw a capsized boat and immediately figured out what had happened. With her father nowhere in sight, she knew what she must do: rescue whoever was clinging to the capsized boat. Not long after, young Ida set out with her father's boat towards the scene. But to her surprise, it wasn't just one man in danger, but 4 young men. Bravely, Ida reached out, helped them into her father's boat, and rowed them to safety, regardless of the fierce waves that would shake adults to their bones. This was the first rescue mission that unlocked her desire to save as many people as she could. Can you imagine a young child rowing against a storm to save people twice her size? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. But as daring as Ida's rescue of the young men was at age 12, no one knew her as a lifesaver. The brave lady went on to save a dozen other lives during her keeper duties, but these all went unnoticed at the time. This was until March 28, 1869, when everything changed. At the time, the leadership of the Lime Rock Lighthouse Keeping lay in the hands of Ida's mother, with Ida doing all the underground work. That fateful dawn, Ida's mother looked out the window of their island house and saw a distressing situation. 2 soldiers were clinging to an overturned boat. Crying out, she called to Ida to show her the situation she just witnessed. The fear factor was high, as it was the harsh winter weather. Rowing out meant shouldering the effects of the unlawful weather to save a life. But Ida did not care. Running out barefoot, she prepared to launch her boat and save the men. Saving people was her calling, and she was not going to watch these men go. The winter storm was chilly, but Ida was unfazed. She rowed into the sea and reached the freezing soldiers soon enough. But to her surprise, one of them commented, "Oh, it's just a girl," before losing his grip and slipping underwater. With the assistance of her brother, they pulled the soldiers atop the boat and rowed them to safety. In light of her help, the soldiers gifted Ida with a gold watch and thanked her profusely, while other soldiers at Fort Adams gave her cash gifts. The citizens of Newport also stepped up and presented Ida Lewis with a new boat. But even this shadows in comparison to Ida's feats. Not long after, she also rescued 2 soldiers from drowning. The men were walking across the frozen harbor from Newport to Fort Adams when the ice broke. Ida heard their screams and set out to rescue them with a clothing line. Her courageous act of risking her life atop that ice sparked media attention. Everyone wanted to know who the lifesaver was and where she got her courage from. She was interviewed, featured on the cover of magazines, and was even shown in the New York Tribune and the Putman's magazine. What started as a humble desire to help people soon shot Ida Lewis to fame. But this was only the beginning. After a reporter from the New York Tribune made a report on her heroic deeds from the 1869 rescue, her news spread and earned her a meeting with the then president, President Ulysses S. Grant. In 1881, Ida Lewis was awarded 2 medals for her life-saving efforts. The first was a silver medal coming in from the Humane Society of Massachusetts. She was bestowed with honor as the medal was placed on her by the vice president of the society himself. Not long after, the second medal came in. For saving the 2 soldiers from drowning, the United States Life-Saving Service honored the lighthouse keeper with a gold medal. From medals to honorary visits to blazing headlines, Ida Lewis became an icon of courage and even earned the nickname, the bravest woman in America. Throughout her lifetime, Ida Lewis was recorded to have officially saved over 18 people. Many sources also say she saved as many as 36 people throughout her career, if you count her rescue options before she officially took up the lighthouse keeper position. Ida Lewis's remarkable journey came to an end in 1911 when she died from a stroke. But down till her fading years, Ida never stopped saving people from drowning. In her 60s, she rescued an older friend whose boat overturned on her way to visit Ida. We see her legacy from the onset as a child to her fading years. Compassion drove her to rescue as many as she could. Ida's story is an inspiration of bravery, humility, and resilience in the face of societal restrictions. Her life will continue to remind us that we can achieve anything with a perfect blend of passion, grit, and compassion. If this incredible story moved you, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more inspirational tales like this. And don't forget to click the bell icon so you never miss an update. Also, do well to like and share this video to keep the legacy of hope and resilience alive in the memory of Ida Lewis.